whatever. So we're going back to our college life. Bud and I are married. We have a little boy. We have this sexy little Mustang that was Bud's before we got married, and we're both struggling to make it through college. I'm going to be a teacher, and Bud doesn't care what his degree is. It's in the sciences, so it has to be because the Navy requires it. The only thing he wants from that, excuse me, that NESA program is that commission. So we went through Christmas, and we had to figure out a way because to finish my last semester, I need to do student teaching. Well, I've got a little boy who just turned 3, and I have to find somebody to babysit. So Mom and Dad said, well, come home, and you can stay with us, and we'll take care of little Gregory while you're there. Well, never plan things because the Navy has its own way, and the Navy says, come on, Bud, you're going to Rhode Island. Going to Rhode Island? Oh, yeah? Okay, OCS training. So we drive Bud up to Rhode Island. The car is packed to the gunnels with all the stuff a little boy and I need to stay with my parents. And he's up in Rhode Island doing his training right after Christmas. And I'm with my parents. So now it's the weekend of President's Day, and I'm upstairs in my childhood bedroom when my brother comes barging in. And he says, Linda, he says, you look really good. Are you getting ready to go to school? No, Tom, not today. I don't have school today. Today's President's Weekend. The student teachers and the teachers have off. I'm a student teacher, so I don't have to go. I think they might be having staff something or other. I don't know, but I don't have to go as a student teacher. Well, that's nice. He says, well, you still look pretty nice. Why do you have all your hair and makeup done? I said, Bud's coming in today. He got a ride down from Rhode Island from Officer Kennedy School, and he's coming, and I haven't seen him in 4 months. And my brother, I love him. He's college age. He has his mind on a couple things that are pretty obvious. He says, well, you're going to get any. You're going to make any whoopee on there. Tom, cut it out. Well, he wasn't the only one thinking of that. He says, I was thinking about it too. Why not? I'm married to the most handsome, sexy sailor in the United States Navy, and I haven't seen him for 4 weeks. And he's coming to my parents' house. Yeah, how's that going to work? So anyway, he says, that's a lovely bathrobe. I said, yeah, I just got it. I got it off the sale rack. Do you like it? He says, yeah, but he says, you need something a little more slinky for tonight when your husband comes home. And I said, oh, don't worry, Tom. I got one of those too. I didn't get it off the sales rack. I paid good money for it, and it is a knockout. It'll be no problem at all. He'll love it. It's been 4 weeks for him, too. Woohoo! Tom goes, whoa, 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 whoa. And his eyebrows lift up, and he makes this big expression like, oh, boy. But I still haven't figured it out. We're at my parents' house, and everything at my parents' house is close together and small. So I'm in my childhood bedroom. So I'm still talking to Tom, and in comes my little 3-year-old Gregory. Uncle Tom, Uncle Tom, Uncle Tom. And Tom says, hi, little guy, I'm so happy to see you. I'm sorry, I can't talk a lot. I have to run out to Kutztown to run an errand. He says, can I go along? Can I go along? Please, 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 Uncle Tom, can I go along? Tom looks at me and says, well, it's okay with me if it's okay with your mom. Well, Uncle Tom, when are you going to be back? I asked him. He says, well, we should be back by noon. No big deal. No problem at all. Oh, I said, good, because his dad's coming in about 3, according to that. They have a half-day of training till they drive from Rhode Island. I expect him about 3, and it would be really nice if Gregory would be here when his dad shows up. Oh, by that time, all I had to say was maybe, and my son was off getting his coat, running out the door with his Uncle Tom, and they're gone. So I still have my bathrobe on over nothing. And my hair's made up nice and my makeup, because I'm getting ready for that 3 o'clock. And I hear a doorbell slam, car door slam. I look out the window, and there he is. Oh, and he looks so handsome. His buddy dropped him off from OCS, but he's like way early. How did he get here so soon? But he has that pea coat on and the collar's up. He has a fresh haircut. His chin is cut so nicely. His shoulders are real broad and his hips are so now. And, he has nice looking jeans. We won't talk about the orange sneakers. We'll forget they were on there. We'll talk about that another time. He loved those orange sneakers. But anyway, he looks so good. And now he's striding up the sidewalk. And I'm thinking, whoa, whoa, whoa. He looks hot. Mom's behind me. He says, who's coming? Oh, Bud's coming, Mom. Bud's coming, Mom. So she goes back out to the kitchen. So knocks on the door because, of course, this is my parents' home, not ours. And there's a little bit of animosity between my mother and my husband yet, but that's a whole other story. It didn't help that he knocked me up before I got married. So that could have been one thing. But anyway, so he's coming and he knocks on the door and I open it and there he is. Oh, he looks so handsome. He looks so handsome and he just looks me up and down. Now, this new robe I got may have been covered on the top, but it was a little bit too short on the bottom. And he is just looking us up and down. And he grabs hold of me and pulls me right out the door. And he's kissing me, and it's kind of chilly, so he opens his pea coat and he wraps it around me, and his hands are going up and down and up and down. And it's like, oh boy. Go away, Mom. Go away, Mom. Don't come in the room. Go away, Mom. This is too nice. Well, guess who comes in the room? Yep, she comes in the room. And Bud's like, whoa. So he wraps his pea coat because, well, besides him standing there was something else standing up too that he didn't exactly want his mother-in-law to see, so he covers up, and I pull my bathrobe down. I said, Bud, you're here early. He says, yeah. He says, they canceled the morning session, so my buddy and I thought, well, we might as well get on the road because he has things to do for the wedding. One of his friends is having a wedding, and he's going down. So we just got on the road. We figured, what are we hanging around here for? There's nothing to do here. And besides, I wanted to go see my doll. And he's giving me that look, like, can't you get rid of your mom? Please get rid of your mom. Tell her to go somewhere. Tell her to do something. But no, Gregory's gone, but Mom is still there. So, okay, so I'm thinking, what are we going to do? So I said, well, Bud, I have to go upstairs and get dressed. And then how about if we go to the Ritz? You remember the Ritz? The Ritz was where I took you when you came to visit that one time. And you really enjoyed it. We could go get some ice cream. And I went right at him. He says, is that near the reservoir? It's very near the reservoir, sailor. My mom didn't hear that part, thank goodness. But, okay, so, Mom, Bud and I are going to go get some ice cream. He's going so soon, he just got in the door. I wanted to get him some coffee and some sticky buns. Well, Mom, he has his heart set on this luscious ice cream at the Ritz. Oh, my mom says, of course, everybody loves the Ritz. I can see why you want to go there. But is it open so early in the morning? Well, I think so, Mom. It's almost 9. The restaurant part should be open anyway. If we can't do the drive-in window, we'll go up the front window where you can just pick up the ice cream. We'll pick it up inside, take it out to the car, and enjoy it. And she said, okay, go ahead. Gregory's gone. I said, Mom, he went with Tom. She says, I know, he's out going out to Kutztown. He said he'd be back about noon. So I quickly run upstairs, switch into this little dress. Now I figured, well, we're not going to the Ritz, we're going to the reservoir. I have plans for this sailor. So I pull on this little cute dress, and it has, I want to make it as easy as possible for that dress to come up and off. I had this all planned. So we get in the car, and Bud says, I don't know where this is. I'm glad you're driving, doll. And he says, okay, take me where you're going to take me. I said, well, we're not going to the Ritz, sailor. I said, we're going to the reservoir. And his eyes got nice and big. He thinks, oh boy, the reservoir. He has something in mind. But the sun is out so bright. I mean, we're going to have to really, well, we'll figure it out when we get there. So all the way there, a lot of touching, a lot of feeling, a lot of going on because we can't get to this reservoir fast enough. We're married, but we have no place. No. So we get to the Ritz, or not to the Ritz, to the reservoir. And by chance, we're driving around, and there's this little, like, Whoopee hole is sort of hidden by the trees. You can still see the front of the Mustang from there, but not too well. Not too well. Back the car in, put it in park. I said, wait a minute, Bud, hold on a second. I got to turn the car off. And oh man, the car was off, and whoa, he is like really starting, and I'm just enjoying every minute of it. Every minute of it. I mean, I told you, I'm married to the sexiest sailor in the Navy, and here he is. He wants me, and boy, do I want him. Little dress that I have goes up and over my head. Now, girls, you know what happens to a little dress when it goes up and over your head? Well, if you don't, I'll tell you in a little bit. So we're really, really into this and lost the whole world. The whole world is gone. It's just Bud and I. And it's so romantic, and it's so wonderful, and so damn desperate. We don't even notice anything going on in the world. So all of a sudden, we hear this tap. Don't pay any attention. We hear this tap again. It gets louder. I look at Bud, he looks at me, he says, uh-oh. He says, I said, did you lock the doors? He said, yeah, I locked the doors. I always lock the doors, doll. So he says, well, I think we better see who it is. Quick, get your dress on. So that little dress, I pull over my head, and Bud's scrambling to pull on his pants. And he crawls to the front of the Mustang, rolls down the window, and there standing by the Mustang is this officer. Now he has to shield his eyes from the sun, and he's looking right in at me. And Bud, well, how long has he been there? I don't know, but if he has been there a while, he got quite a show. So he's looking at us, and he says, excuse me, folks, you can't do this here. He says, who's the driver? I said, well, I drove here, sir. So he says, well, you're going to have to get out of the car. Well, jeez, get out of the car. So Bud and I both get out of the car. And he says to me, may I see your driver's license and your registration? So, okay, we have that. Now, my maiden name is Heffner. So he's looking at it, he says, well, Miss Heffner, I didn't change my license yet over to Hample yet. He says, well, Miss Heffner, you're really trespassing here, and you really can't be fooling around in the reservoir. We don't like that. There's been and it's dangerous for you too. You shouldn't be here. And then he says, sir, may I see your ID? So Bud gets out his driver's license. Well, his doesn't match, and we're both wearing wedding rings. What's the obvious thing you're thinking? Oh my goodness, they're married, but not married to each other. So he's giving us strange looks. And Bud says, oh, she's my wife. Officer raised an eyebrow. Yeah, sure, fella, everybody says that. Everybody says it's their wife. What in the world do you think you're trying to pull off here? You know, he has that look. So Bud says, yeah, really, she is my wife. And we have a little boy named Gregory Hample, and she's their student teaching. She just didn't get her license changed yet to her married name. And how long have you been married? He says. And I said, 3 years. He says, well, lady, you're overdue for that, too. You better get your license changed. Yes, sir, I will do that as soon as possible. And the officer says, well, what are you doing here, sir? Why aren't you at home in your own place? Why do you have to come out to the reservoir? So he says, well, I'm at OCS training. I'm going to graduate soon, and I'm going from being enlisted to an officer. And the policeman says, hoorah! Well, you know where he came from. Now, they're best buddies. And I'm standing there next to him, barefooted, with my dress on. And it's getting kind of cold, so I grab my coat, wrap it around me, and button it up, because it's cold out there. So I grab my shoes, get that too, and I'm pretty much thinking, I'm dressed now, I'm okay. And Bud's still chatting away, Marine talk, Navy talk, Marine talk, Navy talk, back and forth. and the officer's laughing. He thinks this is hilarious. And of course, my husband thinks this is hilarious too, that he got caught like a little teenager messing around with some gal in the reservoir area, making out and getting to home run. So we drive, get in the car, drive home. We had a great time up there. My husband is so happy, I'm so happy, and we're going home, and it's close to noon now, and Gregory should be home any minute, and my brother should be back too, and we walk in the door, and Mom says, oh, did you enjoy your ice cream? It took you a long time. Well, Mom, they weren't open right away, so we had to wait a little bit. But smiling, he's laughing over there. We had to wait a lot, right? He's having a good time. So he takes his pea coat off, and I take my coat off, and I should be presentable. I fixed my hair, I have my dress on, I am dressed. Mom will never know the difference. Tom and Greg come rolling through the door. Daddy, you're here. Yes, I'm here. He says, I'm here. I'm so glad to see you. And big hugs. Gets big hugs from his boy, and he's so happy to see him. So Mom says, oh, Tom, Bud, Linda, Gregory, sit down at the table and we'll have some lunch. Dad should be home in about an hour. He's out with his Pioneer Club doing some volunteer work. So, okay, so we sit down at lunch. And I just, make myself comfortable. And now I have this little pink dress on, the one that I thought was going to be so special for my husband to come home. And I think I look pretty good. And I'm sitting there, and my brother says to me, Linda, and he's pointing to my dress. He's pointing to my dress. Now, dents me, I figure, what? And then Gregory says, Mom, you have to taste this. Grammy made the best potato salad in the whole world. And my brother's still going, Linda. Okay, I don't pay attention. I got a kid to take care of, and my husband's home, and I am so happy. I'm walking in cloud nine, and I don't notice anything, but I should notice. So now my dad sees what Tom's getting upset about. He walked in the door, sat down. He looks at my dress. He goes, he's laughing. My dad was a sailor, too. He knows exactly why my dress is this way. He loved my mom, and he loved my dad and mom loved each other. They were good parents. We were poor in money, but rich in love, so they loved each other. So now my dad's laughing. I'm thinking, what in the world are all these people laughing about? Surely there can't be anything that funny. And Bud, he's busy eating. He doesn't even notice. And Gregory's busy eating. He doesn't notice. But Tom is still going, Linda, like that. And my father's rolling. And my mother's over getting the stuff ready. She hasn't really sat down yet. Moms never get to sit down till the last minute. So I didn't pay any attention to the front of my dress. You see it? Mom brings this over and she puts my beautifully made sandwich and potato salad down. And she says, Linda, what happened to your dress? And I look down. It was on inside out. I turned 50 shades of scarlet red, embarrassed. And my mom was just shaking her head. My dad's roaring. My brother is giggling over there. Everybody's having a good time, except me. I don't know what I was. I guess partially embarrassed, but whatever. It didn't matter. I was married. I was married to this man. So anyway, that's the story of making whoopee.